Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kakulate or Amanda. Today I am going to be talking about a challenge that happened a long time ago. It was for hype around the high school years expansion coming out. It was called the Teen a Day Challenge and it featured 28 days worth of teenage sims for you to create. I'm very happy to say that I completed this challenge. However, I did not do a whole lot of promoting it in terms of my YouTube or showing what I did. So now here we are a year or so later and I'm finally talking about it. But I am excited to still show them off because it was one of the first things that started my foray into making creative sim content. So it was fun, and it's also kind of cool to see how I've changed in my style or the kind of CC that I had back then versus things that I'm more interested in now. And that's what we will be going over today. And before I start, I just wanted to say that it is my goal over the next few months to try to hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. So I would really appreciate any kind of support, any likes or subscribes or any of that. So I hope that you all enjoy, and let me start talking about The Sims. When I first started this challenge, it was the first time I had really ever downloaded CC, so all of the earliest custom content I downloaded served as major inspiration for making these different teenagers, as well as getting me more interested in designing Sims and CAS. At the beginning of the challenge, I had really detailed descriptions going in my head that I was writing for all of the Sims, giving them last names and all of that. As I go on, they start to lose a little bit of that detail because I made so many of them, but I do have some little paragraphs, little descriptions for each one of them. So our first Sim is the beautiful and sporty Imani Henderson. She's the cheer captain at Copperdale High and the daughter of the well-to-do Henderson family. She adores her friends and clubs, but can be a bit self-obsessed at times. So Imani is supposed to be the head cheerleader. She is, she's kind of like that girl. She runs the school. It's very Mean Girls style Regina George. So our second Sim is the Rebel. I took this opportunity to use some haircuts and styles that I don't normally use in my gameplay, things that are a little more masculine or a little more punk. It is always fun giving them piercings. So this girl, her name is Harmony, which I thought I was so funny because she's Harmony, but she's a rebel. So her description is, despite being given the name Harmony by her mother, Mrs. Joe, she desires anything but. She doesn't care for school or society and skips class as often as she can to work on her bodybuilding. So Harmony is very much the school rebel. She I don't know, she's quite a bully. She would not take well to people getting up in her business. I think she would be very threatening. She has her own little clique. She, listens to punk music and is all about anarchy and all of that. Okay, so the next Sim, for the third one, we had a musician or musical entrepreneur. I feel like I'm a little justified in this because I was in band for 7 years and I know band kids enough. I don't know if I ever quite fit in as a band kid, but I was in band with them. And I feel somewhere in my subconscious memory, I have recreated this Sim from someone that I knew somehow. So I tried to go with something a little bland, kind of preppy. So his description was, a musical entrepreneur, Caleb Myers is in every band activity that exists: jazz band, symphonic band, marching band, etc. He plays 7 different instruments, but his best is the oboe and the saxophone. Alright, so this is our fourth Sim. This was Emo. When I first started making the Sim on stream, I got called out by a few people for making her too modern e-girl. They were like, this is not an emo kid. These aren't the kind of kids that I had in high school, because I guess I was leaning more into the modern trends of making the cool, attractive e-girl kind of vibe. So I backpedaled and I ended up changing it to be a little bit more like the emo kids that I wanted to be, the emo kids that I had in high school. She's got, the Converse shoes, the jeans, the t-shirt that I chose to be reminiscent of Twilight because that was all the rage in middle school and high school for me. She's got what I tried to make look like a ton of different band bracelets and oh god, what were all those things that people were wearing? You had the rubber band bracelets, the I Heart Boobies bracelet, I don't know, maybe there's a friendship bracelet in there, some pearls, a pack of something that you got at Hot Topic. And then like the other side, the armband from the Vampires pack, that was supposed to be like one of those sleeves that people used to wear, or just like a quirky kind of hand glove that someone might wear. And then the choker went with dark makeup. And of course I added the money piece green strands in the front, which is, you know, as you may well be aware, coming back into fashion nowadays, which is kind of funny how the times change. So Marcy Whittaker is a classic teenage emo. She's gloomy, hates the sun, and loves to hang out in graveyards. Her current obsession is a romance series featuring vampires and werewolves. She'd love to be a vampire herself. So she's kind of a quirky kid. So the next one that I'm making is the freshman teen. What I wanted to do here was I was inspired by the split dye look that I had gotten, and I just knew that that was where I wanted to start. Like, I wanted the split dye, nothing else was certain, but I ended up deciding to try to make a trans mask sim. This is someone that is starting to come into their own in high school, trying to represent themselves how they would like to be seen to their peers. Kind of androgynous, it's starting to lean in the masculine direction, wearing like baggy clothes to try to hide some of the form a little bit. So the description for him is: Tyler Monroe is trans masc and is hoping high school will be the time to reinvent himself. He loves to spend his free time thrifting and is hoping to get involved in a sports club. The fact that his last name is Monroe and he's got the blonde curly hair on one side, the blonde wavy hair, and like the little beauty spot, I feel like I was kind of playing off of Marilyn Monroe when I look back at this in hindsight. One of those subconscious things I didn't quite realize I was, or like unconscious things I was doing that I didn't quite notice until later. Yeah, I think he might be one of the cutest sims that came out of this. I'm really happy with how he came out. Okay, so our next sim is the Redneck sim. I wanted to give him, you know, the traditional kind of like vibe of the trucker hat and like a tattoo and the tank top. I don't know, like he's sporty, or at least he likes sports. He's working on cars. He like good Southern boy, but I wanted to give him a little bit of flair. So despite being very overly masculine, he actually is like dealing with a lot of emotional trauma. So here is his little background. A traumatic experience with a neighbor's pet as a preteen left Bradley with physical and emotional scars. It resulted in the Fords moving out to the Copperdale Woods, where Bradley can work through his feelings in wilderness solitude and learn to love his 3 family dogs again. So yeah, that's his sad, tragic backstory about his relationship with animals. Our number 7 sim is Try Hard, and I wasn't really sure what Try Hard meant when I was going into this. I guess what I think of and what Google tells me is it's someone that is perceived as putting too much effort into something. In this case, I took it to just mean she works way too hard. She's like one of those kids that is in all the advanced classes and doing all the extracurriculars, and people are like, girl, you just need to chill. I basically got a whole color scheme in mind once I started making this sim, that I wanted her to be very pale and desaturated, so that's the direction that it went in. I wanted her to be studious but elegant. So her description is: Celine Bonnet is a genius. Seriously. It's been forecasted that she'd be valedictorian since the 5th grade. Her unflirty nature and pale complexion results in a lot of teasing though, and rumors about the quote-unquote Copperdale ghost. So she is very smart, but she is also aloof, serious, unflirty, and people tease her about being pale and, you know, just like think she's a little bit of a weirdo, but everyone knows that she is really smart. They cannot discredit her on that account. And one other thing that I will say right around here is I think that getting the 3D eyelashes in The Sims 4 is something that is worth doing. I might still be using some 2D ones here when I first started exploring eyelashes. I really think it makes a huge difference, and I would love to see The Sims 4 actually implement it, but if it never happens, you know, I can work with the custom content. I still think it looks great. I rarely run into any issues with it, and it just like, it brings so much to their face. So yeah, Celine was also one of the ones that I really liked that I made here. Sim number 8 is Hipster. I was very excited about doing this one when I started because I don't know if I've said this already, but I think that there's something about making Sims in color schemes that don't look like me. If I've ever gone into my like color seasons discussion, like I'm like a winter and I wear lots of black and white and minimalistic, elegant, edgy, whatever things. And so when I started this sim, I loved the skin tone and I had downloaded the CC in these like bold colors. I knew I wanted to use the colorful striped pants here. So yeah, it's just always fun to get to explore styles for things that I wouldn't normally wear. So Kavya Chadha aspires to go to culinary school, loves the environment, loves art, and loves women. She can often be found in coffee shops after school or hanging out on ledges that people probably shouldn't climb on. So she is a lesbian, obviously, and she's just like, she's cool, she's well liked, she likes to climb trees and stairs and walls and stuff, and I don't know, she's just hanging out. Good vibes, good energy from Kavya. I think she might be one of my favorite coming out of this challenge, and I'm probably gonna say that several times, but she's definitely one of my favorites. I think she's gorgeous. Oh, and I also thought it was very appropriately hipster to give her a nose piercing. Our sim number 9 is Party Thrower. I know I just said that like I really love the last sim, and I do, but I also really love this sim because I had downloaded this highlighter CC and I was like, this is the perfect time to use it. I'm going to make the sparkliest party girl. So I decided to make her look really cutesy with the big like space buns and go with a lot of like pastel colors. It's kind of a trend right now to have like colored tattoos. I don't know how to describe it. Like they're not outlined, they are very colorful. I wish I could think of the word for it, but I gave her the little heart tattoo on the shoulder, and then I also gave her a colorful tattoo on the thigh, just leaning into her being trendy and fun. So her description is, if you want to know where the latest party is at, it's likely at Myung Kim's house, and if it's not, she'll know where it is. She loves to wear bold makeup to every occasion and will happily braid your hair if you ask. She's the kind of girl that you meet in the bathroom when you're at a club and she's like, oh my god, you are so gorgeous, like da, 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 da. And she'll like start braiding your hair and just like playing with it. She's maybe a little too touchy, but that's okay because everyone thinks that she's nice and sweet, but she is absolutely a party girl. She's a popular kid. I was gonna say like people were jealous of her or something, but and I mean maybe they are, but I don't want that to be her story. Like no, she's like nice and sweet. She's just a little socialite. And our very last one for this video, number 10. This is 16 and Pregnant. Oh god, if you've ever seen that MTV show, 16 and Pregnant, I think I have once or twice. Not great television, not gonna lie. Just felt bad every time. Just felt so bad. I think it's interesting that this one was on the list. I think it is a really good opportunity for fun storytelling, especially for people that were going into high school years and like needed a variety of sims. You can say whatever you want about teen pregnancy or whether it's appropriate or not, but like it absolutely happens. So for her look, what I was trying to do was, you know, she is like several months plus into being pregnant at this point. I didn't actually make her pregnant in the game, so I adjusted her body weight, but if you like have a mod that allows teen pregnancy, you could totally do that. She is still going to school. I'm sure people like bully her for it, like she gets ridiculed or whatever, but like she's still showing up every day and getting her education. Like good for you, girl. And so I decided that she's just kind of wearing what's comfortable to go to school, a big sweatshirt to hide her body, like her hair is pulled back in a braid. Oh, and I made her aspiration looking for a soulmate. Wow, I really made this one so tragic. So here's her description. Katie has never got in trouble in her life. She's on the soccer team, she babysits for the neighbors' kids, and has perfect attendance. So you can imagine the shock when her family discovers she's pregnant and won't tell them who the father is. So yeah, all kinds of drama here. Oh, and that's also partially why I went with the hair up, because I felt like every girl that I knew that was on the soccer team, always the blonde ponytail. Felt like I saw that all the time. So anyway, that is the first part of the Sims I have to show you. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I've got a few more videos planned to talk about the rest of the remaining Sims in the challenge, so be on the lookout for those, and I will see you all in the next one.